السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. العالم الباكستاني العالمي البروفيسور محمد إقبال شودري مدير المركز الدولي للعلوم الكيميائية والبيولوجية في جامعة كراتشي بباكستان، والعالم الباكستاني المشهور عالميا الذي أطلق عليه لقب عالم عام 2018 اعترافا بمساهماته القيمة في مجال العلوم. يعد من أكثر العلماء إنتاجية في باكستان، حيث قام بكتابة وتحرير أكثر من 70 كتابا، معظمها تم نشرها في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية وأوروبا. الحائز جوائز وتكريمات عديدة عالميا. اليوم يفوز بجدارة بجائزة المصطفى للعلوم والتكنولوجيا. الدكتور شودري يشرفنا وحرمه في هذا الحوار الخاص من الداخل، العقول الجميلة. معكم زينب صفار، تابعونا. Meritorious Professor Dr. Muhammad Iqbal Chaudhry, laureate of the prestigious Mustafa Prize for Science and Technology 2021, Director of the International Center for Chemical and Biological Sciences, ICCBS, at the University of Karachi, internationally renowned Pakistani scientist. Welcome always to Min al-Dakhil from the Inside, sir.
Thank you very much, Zainab.
Always pure pleasure to have you, sir, and pure pleasure to be joined tonight, with this special edition with Mrs. Chaudhry, the woman behind the scientist,
Absolutely.
behind this prominent man. Well, when one delves into your resume, sir, one gets astonished, yet so proud to know that you have, or we have actually, people who are exceedingly accomplished as yourself in the Islamic world. Your scientific and capacity building contributions have been recognized by prestigious national and international awards and honors and fellowships of several academies of sciences. You have won a great number of accolades. Today, Dr. Chaudhry, what does it mean to you to be the laureate of Mustafa Prize? I mean, what does that award add to your case?
Alhamdulillah, I think this is one of the most prestigious awards in the world, and I feel extremely fortunate to receive this award. I think this is a recognition of my lifelong contributions in the field of science and technology. This award carries the name of our Prophet.
Sure,
And
peace
I
be
think
upon
it has
him and his
absolutely,
family. Sure.
it has a very special meaning for me. At the same time, I fully understand and appreciate that the quality of assessment of selection of laureates is absolutely world class. So I feel very fortunate, and I'm extremely grateful to the jury for selecting me for this prestigious international award.
And you are not so far away from the Mustafa Science and Technology Foundation. You have always been part and parcel of the planning scientific committees. So you know the way, the criteria and the parameters of gauging the prominence of this scientist and that scientist.
Absolutely. I think the whole concept of Mustafa Science and Technology Foundation has been phenomenally good, because we see in the Muslim world that, of course, science and technology is not a priority. On top of it, even if there are some countries who are excelling in science and technology, they are not really investing into the capacity building of the other countries, where you find MSTF come up with novel ideas. Not only this great recognition of scientific talent in the Muslim world, but also several other programs. So the whole concept of MSTF is very useful for the Muslim countries, and I think I consider that as a renaissance in the world of science and technology for the Muslim world. So it is a great landmark, and I think it's a wonderful idea of creating such a foundation.
Right. What is the achievement or the innovation, the invention that you were recognized for?
I've been working in the field of nature. You know, nature is full of fascination.
Yes.
God has created wonderful flora and fauna. And
Herbals,
yeah,
yes.
absolutely. When you look into each one of them, when you look into a plant, you're just totally fascinated that biodiversity is actually the outward manifestation of chemical diversity. They look different, they feel different, they have different colors and shapes and fragrances, all because God has created fascinating chemistry in them. And I think the greatest contribution I was able to make it was to look into the nature and identify those compounds which can benefit people, which can benefit humanity in terms of developing new drug molecules and new drug candidates.
Now, allow me to shift the gears now and ask Mrs. Chaudhary. Mrs. Chaudhary, of course, we know Dr. Chaudhary, the scientist. We know him as the researcher. We know him as the prominent figure in the field of chemistry and all the sciences related to that. But we don't know about him. I asked him before, I mean, you do all these things. Do you have time for your family? Does he dedicate time for you?
Yeah.
Yes? How much time? I mean, is it quality time?
Quality time.
Yes. What do you usually do together?
Going
Well,
out.
We spend time together.
Yes.
We sit as a family and often discuss.
You don't work, right?
No.
You don't work. You're a housewife, you're a homemaker, and you are totally responsible for the family that is supportive of Dr. Chaudhary as the scientist. What things does Dr. Chaudhary have a specific kind of attitude at home? Is he like silent? Is he always working also at home?
Yeah.
Or does he engage in certain kind of entertainment and stuff like that?
When he's doing work, at that time he need silent. Otherwise,
It's okay. It's
It's
like
okay.
a regular life.
yeah.
Right. Now, allow me to come back, because we all know, ma'am, that behind every great man, there is a great woman. A great woman who is steering the home, who is steering the track and paving the way for this great man to pursue his path towards more and more success. I would appreciate, sir, if you can walk us through your career path. Tell us more about your passion for science and research. And in this sense, Dr. Chaudhary, I would like you to deliver a message to the young researchers who have a passion also for science.
See, I've been extremely fortunate right from the beginning to have my family who has been very supportive. My mother, my father, they were very curious learner. We used to have lots of books at home, and then I got all the support of the face of the earth. And then this beautiful lady came in my life, and she really made everything so possible for me, and then sacrificed a lot, you know, the time which was belonged to her, she gave it to me so I can pursue my career. So I think the perseverance and the commitment and to keep your head down and work with sincerity is the key to success.
Sure.
God has, created, the law is very, very simple. You work hard and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you. And that is what I have done all along my life, that I have been working with extreme sincerity, with commitment, and at the same time I was able to build a team of people. So alone you won't be able to do much. My message to my fellow colleagues is to develop trust, to develop sincerity, and to think of doing science which is beneficial for humanity. That is the prayer of our Prophet, peace be upon him, ilm nafi, the knowledge which benefit the humanity and society. So that is
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويرفع الله الذين آمنوا منكم والذين أوتوا العلم درجات. Okay,
Absolutely.
so you are always, scientists are just being lifted upwards to a higher echelon and a higher level because of their science.
Absolutely, and you know, the science for the sake of science has no meaning. You know, we should really have this strong intention that whatever we're trying to do is should be beneficial to people. You know, I mean, that should benefit society as a whole, because that is the promise of science, and that is what our Prophet, peace be upon him, taught us. This is our religion, and this is the message which I would like to convey to my fellow.
For the betterment of all humanity.
Absolutely.
Mrs. Chaudhary, how did you receive the message of Dr. Chaudhary being a laureate for Mustafa Prize? You were so happy. Yes, of course, very happy. And thankful, of course, because, you know, this is something that culminates for every scientist. Recognition is very important. It has to culminate with an award, a prize, an accolade, a thank you for all your efforts in science and research. Allow us, Dr. Chaudhary and Mrs. Chaudhary, to stop now for a short break, and then afterwards I will try to come back and talk about more up close and personal questions, but after the break.
Sure.
إن شاء الله. إذا فاصل قصير ونعود، لا تذهبوا بعيدا. العالم الباكستاني العالمي محمد إقبال شودري الحائز جائزة المصطفى للعلوم والتكنولوجيا المرموقة عام 2021، مدير المركز الدولي للعلوم الكيميائية والبيولوجية في جامعة كراتشي بباكستان. التقيناه آخر مرة عام 2019، ومذ ذاك اجتاحت جائحة كورونا العالم برمته بشراسة وضراوة وسرعة قياسية ولا تزال. يخبرنا الأثر عمله في المركز وفي جامعة كراتشي وعلى أبحاثه ومحاضراته.
Zainab, you know that COVID-19 was a pandemic of unprecedented magnitude, and we all were affected with COVID-19. In this pandemic, science has delivered. I think this is one occasion in which science has worked for saving the humanity. And this is exactly what happened in Pakistan also, because in March 2020, when emergency was declared, there were no testing facility, there were no clinical trials, the doctors were not trained, even people didn't know how to do PCR tests.
Even the medical staff was not trained.
Absolutely. So what we have done was that we converted our virology center into a very large PCR-based center, which was able to conduct like 3,000 tests at the same time every day. We start conducting clinical trials on many drugs. So we have carried out many clinical trials. We were at the same time looking into the genome of the virus and looking into the mutation which was taking place. So when everybody was locked in home, I was busy with my team, extremely busy. You know, there was no Sunday, no Saturday.
And Mrs. Chaudhary is nodding her head in consent that yes, you were so busy, and she can't see you during these days. Of course, you were really so busy.
You know, and I really feel, you see, look into.
Did you, excuse me here to ask you, sir, did you detect anything in the field of your expertise in the herbal sciences or research that could help in confronting this kind of obnoxious virus?
Absolutely. So what we have done was that very first time we have developed culturing. So we were able to develop the culturing of SARS-CoV virus.
Sure.
and we had many variants, and we were looking to the herbs which were able to control the growth of those viruses.
Mhm.
And as a result of it, we have identified several herbs.
Mhm.
3 of them are recently patented in USA,
Mhm.
and they're fascinating herbs because they.
Which herbs?
These herbs are, mentha. This is a variety of mentha.
Mhm.
Mentha is capable of stopping the entrance of virus into the cell.
Mhm.
And we discover that it does it in a very novel manner. So this work was carrying out at the same time. We were also looking into other aspects of it. For instance, vertical transfer from mother to babies.
Mhm.
We were conducting lots of trials
Mhm.
to look into to see whether this virus transfer from mother to the newborn baby. So
Mhm.
lots of work was conducted during this time.
Mhm.
Also at the same time, in my laboratory, I was able to identify several novel variations in the genome sequence. My team has
Mhm.
done it, and we were constantly monitoring the virus and how it was mutating in Pakistan.
Right. Now, Mrs. Chaudhary, when Dr. Iqbal is not working, is not researching, is not writing and doing certain kind of experiment, what does he do at home?
क्या करते हैं जो तो बताइए.
Spend time with the children.
Sure, that's
Yeah.
good.
To go outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you go out like with friends and family? Do you spend some time at your
Right.
families?
Mhm.
Yes.
Full time.
Does he have a specific hobby or activity that he is inclined to
Reading
do?
books.
No, we need a hobby, another thing that he usually like a kind of sport. Does he play football? Does he play?
No.
Does he swim? No, nothing like that.
There's no time.
There's no time.
But I go for a walk with her.
Yes,
we
you go for a walk.
we
Yes.
like to walk.
Walk.
Yes.
Long walk actually. In
Yeah.
fact, sometimes we walk
1 hour
for
walk.
1 hour and
Mhm.
even more.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
very healthy and very
Yeah.
good.
And at the same time, we have a large library at home. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's not only subject book, but we actually work.
You don't do
Read
any
lots.
yogas?
No, I
No, you don't do any.
Just walk.
Just walk. Walking is very good, very healthy. It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
cardio thing. Allow me to come back to you, Dr. Chaudhary. Tell us more about this experience and how important is it for you to exchange, to liaise, to build the bridges across the Arab and Muslim world?
I think it's extremely important because science is one discipline which bring people together despite their ideological differences.
Mhm.
And at least there is a clear understanding that science and technology in the Muslim world, we have a common heritage, you know.
Sure.
We understand that that the Muslims have played an extremely important role in the development of modern science and technology, and that is the reason why it is important for us to go back to our basics and fundamental and try to go back to the basic recipe of using science and technology for development. And that we feel that Mustafa Science and Technology Foundation is trying to bring countries together, regardless of their ideological tilt or differentiations. This foundation is bringing people from all over the Muslim world and providing them opportunity of learning from various projects. So they have lots of innovation in the programs. They have STEP, Science and Technology Exchange Program. There are lots of innovation laboratories. There are lots of other programs such as Noor program for K-12, which is an excellent program for.
Sure.
So there are so many innovation has been done, and a lot of very bright people are working together in the foundation to identify areas in which Muslim world can work together. So I feel it's extremely enriching experience to work with such a group of dedicated and bright people.
Yes, dedication is also very important, sir. And you talked about the youngsters. What do you say to the young researchers? I asked you about this, who aspire to become as accomplished as yourself. What do you tell them that they should be doing? They should be pursuing. What specific path they should pursue in order to perhaps follow your track and be as accomplished as yourself?
You see, I really feel that developing conceptual foundation is extremely important, because you cannot really build a strong building without a strong foundation. So science and technology at a concept level, STEM education is very important. So I think that it is very, very important that we invest in young people and give them a very high quality education at the basic level. So when they move forward, they have a strong foundation and they would be able to do lots of very important things in science and technology. Without a strong foundation, they'll not be able to do anything, which primarily means that they need to be very good in physics, mathematics, chemistry, biology.
Yes,
These
STEM,
fundamental sciences
sure.
are extremely important for them
Yes.
to develop expertise. And then on top of it, once they are expert in these basic sciences at a conceptual level, they can become a very good scientist. So I think it is extremely important for them to have a good foundation.
Right. My last question is, allow me, sir, to Mrs. Chaudhary. Well, as a person who knows Dr. Chaudhary more than anybody else, what do you think is the advice that he might give to your daughters and sons?
Honesty. Yeah.
Yes, to be sincere and to be honest in everything they do.
Yeah.
Bless your heart. Bless you, Dr. Chaudhary. Yes, institutions are not made from bricks and stones. Rather, they are made of people who have dreams and vision. And you know who said this. Distinguished Mustafa Prize laureate Dr. Iqbal Chaudhary, an exceptionally beautiful mind and spirit too, and the lovely Mrs. Chaudhary. Many thanks indeed for joining us, both of you, for this special edition of من الداخل, Beautiful Minds.
Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure to have you, sir and ma'am. Always a pleasure. وشكرا لكم مشاهدينا الكرام على طيب المتابعة. لتفاعل أكثر تابعونا على صفحات السوشيال ميديا من كل فريق عمل من الداخل، من كل الميادين من طهران. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.